Hello and welcome to Dickinson's Real Deal. On this show, I help members of the public get the very best price for their antiques and valuables. We can sit you down with one of our regular dealers. Now they're going to tempt you with a cash offer on the table.
£220.
Bit more.
If I don't think that's enough money, I'm going to say to you, take a gamble and place those same goods into an auction and hope to get more money there. Today, the show comes to you from Bury in Lancashire. There's a huge crowd of people here. They've been here since early this morning. They're determined to do business. They want to walk away with cash or gamble and go to auction. But either way, they want the real deal.
First deal of the day.
I'm sorry.
I thought you'd ever see a mobile phone on an antiques programme.
And this is what you
It'll
brought
never fit in your pocket, Corrie.
So this is an early, very early mobile phone.
Early 1980s. Yeah.
So Peter, does this look like your mobile phone?
Slightly bigger. I mean, it's been sat in the wardrobe now for a good, 20 plus years. My uncle just sort of left it and said, do as you wish, get rid. So we thought, why not bring it along and have a see?
Well, it's 30 odd years old. And when they were new, these were so innovative and so wonderful that you could actually stand in the middle of the field and phone somebody. And they had a huge battery, and that's the weight. So shall I just lift it and try? And I'm going to have
It is quite heavy.
Two hands.
Very heavy.
Yeah, that is really, that's the weight of a suitcase.
Yeah.
So it's a great big battery in there, and you had to charge it for ages, and it only lasted, 6, 8 hours,
Not
10
long,
hours?
yeah.
So we've got to get to the difficult bit, and I am delaying. I am using every
You are?
tactic. Yeah, I am. So I think, how much? So let's put some money on the table, and this is an absolute guess.
Okay.
So we're going to put 20, 40, 60. I quite like to buy it just to see what the value is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea to us.
So I'm going to put £70 on the table and see how you feel about it.
Well, I mean, we're getting there, aren't we?
I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
I think
We're getting there. Well, here comes David, who's going to give me a hand, because you may be getting there. I'm still at sea.
Oh, David.
Can you believe how far technology has changed since the 1980s? The size of these things. I do recall having one of those for business, and I think it cost about £2,500, but it was so wonderful because when you were travelling all over the country on the motorways, instead of diverting into a service station and queuing behind 6 or 8 company reps at every telephone box to make a call, you had one of these to make your own private calls. Quite amazing. The independent valuers, they value that rather lowly. They say £30, £40. I'm not so sure they're right on that. There can't be that many in existence. The question is what to do. I think what to do is grab hold of that 70 quid and get down to the pub quickly and see if there's any phone calls down there.
Thank you.
Well, as I said, it's sheer curiosity. If you can imagine it cost £2,500 30 years ago, not a great offer, but it's my offer.
A blue instead of a red.
Yeah. I'd say that'd settle
Lovely
it.
deal.
I'd say that'd settle it.
How about that? A blue instead of a red.
What about 75? That is my offer.
Yeah.
That's fair
Okay.
enough.
Does
Deal.
that sound
I
right?
found that, yeah.
Okay. Well then, thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
being along.
Thank you as well.
And Peter, thank you.
Thank you too.
Hi, I'm Ian.
Next up,
Hiya,
Harris has
Travis.
brought something almost as flamboyant as Ian. What'll he make of it?
So what do we have here? A German clock. Could you tell me a little bit about it? How you got it or how your family got it?
It's my dad's grandma's clock. It's been in the family for years, and he's just had it sat there in the living room on display for a long time. And we've just brought it in today so we can buy new ornaments and do a bit to the garden.
There are a few minor little chips on it, and I noticed that his thumb has been broken off and glued back on with super glue. Did you do that?
No. I'm not that good,
You're
no.
not that good. Okay. Well, if you turn it around and have a look at the movement, okay? Gently turn it around. You don't damage it in any way. And open it up. If you look inside, there should be a pendulum,
Yeah,
which is unfortunately missing.
yeah,
The piece the pendulum hangs from is also damaged and missing.
yeah.
So it needs a fair amount of work. Firstly, it needs a new pendulum and the work done on where the piece that it hangs on to cause it to move and to give you the right time, make the chiming and everything work well. We need to do all that, okay? So that's one thing that we have to sort out. It should be marked, I imagine, somewhere. Yeah, it's marked over here, Germany. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
And then you got the cross swords, which are very blurred. It isn't a very good clean mark, so it's definitely German. It's Sitzendorf, and quite attractive, you know.
Very attractive.
The thing is, to get it fixed costs a bit of money, and it's not an easy thing to get fixed. There are specialist clock people who deal in them. Luckily, I know one.
So it won't be that day to get fixed.
So it won't be that difficult to get done. So, we come to the money. Are you making the decision for the family?
I've got a price in mind.
You've got
I know
a
my
price
dad's
in
got
mind.
A price in mind.
So you don't have
yeah.
to discuss it.
I'm
or-
not going to discuss it.
I think it's worth 50, 100, 150, 200. To me, that's what it's worth.
I'm not going to take it.
You're not going to take it?
No.
You're being very firm about you're not going to take it.
Because I know I've got a price in mind and it's not a bad price to pay, and that's
So-
a joke.
What were you looking for? I'm not going to pay any more, you know. I mean, you have the option to take it to auction.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm going to
It's-
take it to auction.
You're going to take it to auction?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Good
Thank
to
you.
meet you.
I think you might have met your match there, Ian. The clock's now over at the auction, and Caris might be young, but she's on the ball.
Caris knows exactly what she's doing. You're under instruction from your dad
Yeah.
because it belonged to your father.
Yeah.
The reserve has been raised a little bit to 300.
Yeah.
Why did you raise it? That
To
little bit?
protect the clock.
Okay, so you've raised it to protect it, very sensible, but do you know it's also dangerous? It might not sell at that level.
Yeah, that's the risk you take when you gamble.
She knows how to do it. That's the risk you take. Okay, is it going to make it? It's worth 300. It's a quality item and it's in very, very nice condition. It's coming up now. All I'm going to say, Caris, is fingers crossed, and maybe we'll get it away. Let's see what happens.
Start me at 200 then, no less than that. £200, too big. At £200. Further bids now. 210, 220, 230, 240,
It's creeping.
250, 260, 270, 280, 290, 300.
It's at £300. Wise, come on.
£300 it's going. All done at that. 300.
Gambler's just gone down at £300. Good news. We've got some commission to take off. I make that about £255. What's your first reaction?
It's better than nothing.
Will Dad still give you a taste, a little bit of a treat out of this?
better I'd do,
He better
yeah.
I'd do. Well, you've heard it, Dad. You better I'd do. Okay. On the day, the gavel went down at £300 for Caris. She's taking home to her dad £255 for the real deal. And Dad, you'd better get her a treat. You better I'd do.
Well, I hope it puts a smile on your dad's face, Caris. He might end up looking like this.
Thanks very much indeed for bringing this in today. Maybe you'd like to describe what it is?
I don't know what it is. It's a piece of tree.
Yeah,
I believe it's fairly old.
yeah,
I bought it off a car boot sale,
right.
thinking it was a sort of an inkwell or something like that, maybe his head.
What did you pay for it in the car boot then?
Oh, no.
Right,
Not yet.
okay. Not going to tell me. Maybe you tell me later on.
I might do that.
Well, let's have a look at it. We've basically got a wooden figure of a monk's head, made of oak, and probably made around the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century. quite interesting that it's just the head. And my feeling, looking at it, is that it might at one stage have been part of a larger figure, a full figure of a monk.
Yeah, that's right. So.
I've had figures like this before, which are tobacco jars.
Yes.
And that looks like the head to me of maybe it was a big tobacco jar.
Right, yeah.
And the bottom would have got broken, and they've liked the head so much that they've mounted it on an oak base. Why are you getting rid of it?
My wife's making me get rid of it. She'll not let me have it on display because because I look at him. You know,
Well, he looks a bit lascivious, doesn't he?
He does. He's falling around the room all the time.
But the amount that I'm putting down does reflect that I think it's part of something and not a complete object. Okay, so I hope you're not going to be too upset. 20, 40 pounds. No, I don't think I'm far off. I quite like it and would quite like to buy it, but I'm not going to offer you much more for it. I'm going to exchange those two 20s for a £50 note. And then I think it's really up to you.
If you take the 50 back, put the 3 blue ones down for 60, I will deal with that.
Muggins strikes again. Let's give you the 60.
I don't think so.
Let's take that away. 20, 40, £60. We've got a deal?
Okay, that's a deal.
Michael, thank you very much. Now, how much did you pay for it in the car boot?
50p.
50p.
Yep.
Well,
So coming up, the military marches in to guard their valuables. Attention!
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
Let's head straight over to Cheryl's table.
Helen, hello.
Hello.
Tell me, it's a very interesting object you brought along. What do you know about it?
Well, I got it over 40 years ago. I had an old neighbour and she was cleaning her garage out. And I went across talking to her and there was a load of stuff on the pavement. So I said, what are you doing with this? She said, oh, it's going in the bin. Well, at the time, I did a little bit of flower arranging. So I fancied if I could get this and put a stopper in there, you know, and do an arrangement round. And I did, and I used it for maybe 4 or 5 years. Okay. And then the next thing, it's gone the back of the cupboard.
So are we thinking it's probably a candlestick?
That's what, yeah.
I mean, it's a funny looking thing, really, isn't it? So do you know anything else about this at all?
Well, I noticed on the bottom it had Dicker of Sussex.
Okay, and we've got some numbers here. And the glaze is lovely. It's almost like a treacle glaze to it. Well, it's got a date here.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. 1649.
Yeah.
That's very, very early.
Yeah.
Looking at it straight away, I don't think it is 1649, but I think it's a copy, maybe from 1910, 1920.
Yeah.
Sort of an old reproduction of the original.
Yes.
If it had been this nice early day, we'd have been talking an awful lot of money.
Yeah.
It's got a little nibble out of there. Quite naive sort of pottery.
Yeah.
I'm going to get some money out, Helen.
Thank you.
See what you think. It's a bit of a shot in the dark, this one, because it's a bit one on its own.
Yeah.
So I'll have a bit of a gamble. £20.
No, I would like a little bit more than that.
Okay. Everybody always says that.
Did it?
How about £40?
Just a little bit more, if you
little
could,
bit
if you
more.
can.
How about 45? If you don't like that bid, you know you can always go to auction. Day out with David at the sale room? Not tempting?
No, I don't think I'll go.
What do you think about the £45?
I'll take your offer.
You're going to take
yes,
that?
I will do, yes.
Well,
Thank
there you are. You've got £45 for something that was stuck at the back of the cupboard.
Right. Thank you very
well
much.
Well done.
Just up the road from Bury is the Fuselia Museum, housing its collection of Lancashire Fuselia militaria. Its collection is so treasured it needs its own special guard. Let's march the Duke in to find out more.
I want to introduce you to Mike Glover. Now, Mike, you are the curator of a local military museum. Let's have the full title.
It's the Fuselia Museum, and it contains a collection of the Lancashire Fusiliers and the Royal Regiment of Fusiliers.
Okay, you brought along, I think, some amazing objects. First of all, the memorial drums. Tell me about them.
The silver memorial drums were made in 1921, and they commemorate the 13,642 Lancashire Fusiliers killed in the First World War.
What a dreadful waste, but 13,000.
Those that lost loved ones all contributed to produce the silver drums, a memorial in stone, and a list of all those killed in action, which is now kept in the regimental headquarters. But it's very much part of our history, part of our tradition, which we're exceptionally proud of.
Tell me about this regimental hat here.
That belonged to the Colonel-in-Chief of the Royal Fusiliers during the 1930s. During the 1930s, it was the Prince of Wales, later King George V. Now it's His Royal Highness, the Duke of Kent.
Okay. Then we come to this medal group here. First World War medals. 3 of those medals, of course, are a fairly standard issue, but one is the greatest award that any man can win. Most of these medals are offered posthumously. It is, of course, the Victoria Cross, the bravest of the brave. Tell me about this medal group.
This medal group was awarded to Private Keneally. Keneally was a member of the 1st Battalion of the Lancashire Fusiliers, who in April 1915 landed on the beaches at Gallipoli. Keneally was one of the brave party who went ashore.
Am I right in saying that 6 Victoria Crosses were won on that assault?
On that assault, on that morning, on that beach, the famous Lancashire Fusiliers 6 VCs before breakfast.
Quite extraordinary. And this particular honour was never actually given to Keneally. He was still there in the front line when he was later killed.
Sadly, 2 months later, an attack at a place called Gully Ravine, Keneally was killed.
Now, we've got a couple of good lads here behind us. They are TA members.
Correct. Fusiliers from Lancashire. They're now Royal Regiment of Fusiliers.
OK. Can I ask your names, first of all?
Mick. My name's William.
Mick and Will. Mick and Will are members of the TA. They are going out on a tour of Afghanistan. What can we say to them? All we can say, gentlemen, is thank you and stay safe.
Hi, Gwyneth. I'm Corrie.
Hello, Corrie.
And this lovely little thing is yours.
Yes, it is. Yes, it was my grandma's.
Did you keep it? Was it treasured?
Oh, yes, yes. And she used it as well.
She used it,
yes.
did she?
Yes.
How nice. So she kept her perfume in it?
Yes.
Well, that would be about the right date because the body of it is overlay glass. So what you've got is a layer of cranberry or ruby glass, and underneath is clear glass. And they've carved through the outer layer to give that lovely pattern, like a honeycomb.
Oh, yes, yes.
So this was probably made in Germany, or Bohemia, southern
Yes.
Germany. And the top is probably English.
Yes.
So the glass would have been sent over, and a silversmith in England would have put the top on.
Oh,
and
right.
looking
Yes.
at the whole thing, I would say end of the 19th century, 1880, 1890, that kind of date.
Yes.
And it seems to be in nice condition. I'm going to open it, and it's got a little clear
Yes.
glass stopper. So it's
Yes.
still got the original stopper, which is always really nice. Nice hinge, working perfectly. And why do you want to sell such a pretty item?
Well, I've got it kept away because I'm frightened of damaging it. So, and I'd like to take the grandchildren out for a day.
So you put some money on the table.
Yes, please.
Right. You put 20, 40, 60, 80, 100.
I think that's a very fair offer.
Do you?
Yes, I do, yes. Another small one and then you've got a deal.
That size?
Yes, yes.
Got 110 on the table.
Yes, I'm happy with that, yes.
Thank you very much and have a lovely day out with the boys.
Thank you. I'm sure we will have a lovely day out. Thank you.
Coming up, one luxurious gentleman's suitcase.
You'd have to be a millionaire in your day to have something like that.
But can David
250.
Tupman fill his case with enough notes to buy it? Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Bury. Now, in the dealer's den, Jean's hoping
Hello,
to raise a
Jean.
glass
Pleased
and
to
cheer a
meet you.
deal
Pleased to
from
meet you too.
Cherry.
Now, you brought along today what looks like a very nice pair of decanters. How did you come to own these?
They're from my father's side of the family, handed down. They've always been in the family, and there's no use if you know, for them at the moment, so I thought we might as well sell them.
Well, I'm just going to lift them out of the coasters. I think, personally, that these haven't started off together. I think the coaster is a lot later than the decanter.
Right.
I think the decanter looks Victorian, if not earlier. It's a really nice quality decanter. It's a great cut glass. These coasters, as you can see, they're quite ridgy. I think these are for a bottle of wine. I don't think they're for a decanter. They are silver plated. I don't know if you know that. Although they've got the mark here that appears that it is a silver mark, it's quite a clever one.
Yes.
I think good quality silver plate was often marked with an almost identical set of marks to a silver mark, but these are definitely silver plates, so that will reflect in my offer. Right, G. Okay. Pop it here so we can see. 20, 40, £60.
Well, that's a little lower than I expected.
A little lower than you thought.
Yes.
I'm going to put another 20 down because the more I look at these, the more I do like them. So how about £80 in cash?
But it's a little low, that.
David, over to you.
Well, we've got two estimations. They are saying 130, 180, 150, 250.
Yes.
A pair of match decanters, a few little nibbles on the stoppers, but still a very good tight fit, so the liquor won't evaporate. So what are they worth? I would have thought if you could get somewhere between the 130 and the 180, perhaps say 150, two decanters, two coasters.
Yes, yes.
Probably about their money.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes.
So I've got a bit further to go then,
Yes,
Jean,
we
have
have
I?
a little.
Right, okay. Well, there's 100, and that's 120. So that's not far off. You're getting 150 in the sale room, but that's in cash today.
I've got another 20. We've got a deal.
No.
10. 10 and we've got a deal.
Let's see if we've got a 10. Right, we've got a 10. So if we put this down, we've got a deal. You're a bit of a wheeler dealer, you are.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Now over on David's
Pleased to meet you.
table,
Your name
Tony's
is?
brought in
Tony.
something the Dapper Duke is going to go gaga over. He's standing on the sidelines with auctioneer Max Blackmore.
You
Let's
brought us
see what
in
happens.
a bag.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about it?
I got it from a market in Eccleston. I bought it because it was complete. When you open it and stay inside, it's a nice thing.
Well, let's have a look at it. We've got, it's basically pigskin travelling bag. Would be used late Victorian when in the days when you have porters at the station. Not used these days because to carry this around
heavy.
without the wheels, incredibly heavy thing. So the days when people were wealthy and had people to carry their bags for them. So let's open it up, and there we have inside. We have ivory brushes, ivory scissors and razors, and it's basically a gentleman's bag for travelling around. Silver cigarette case, and if we take this out and turn it round, if you're going to help me behind the other side there, we can show silver top bottles. At the end we have a drinking flask. Unfortunately, looking at the drinking flask, the bottom isn't silver, isn't marked, which is unusual, really. And if we look at the hallmarks, we can see that it's dated 1882. Very good quality, made by Mappin & Webb, who is, is one of the best makers, and would have cost a lot of money in 1882. This would have been a very expensive thing for a gentleman to have.
Max, how saleable is something like that?
They're still pretty popular. Personally, I think if the case were a different kind of leather, perhaps a bit more showy, then it would be a lot more money.
How are you going to value that?
Well, I've put £450 to £600 on the case.
Okay. David Tupman is an international antique dealer. He knows this type of merchandise. I would have thought this could be his cup of tea. Let's see what he places on the table.
Well, you have an idea about what you want for it, presumably?
I have.
Shall I put some money on the table and see?
That would be nice.
50, 100, 150, 200, 250, £300.
No, that wouldn't buy it.
That's not going to buy it. Well, we have a gentleman coming.
Well, I'm rather surprised at that offer, because what we're seeing here is something which is fabulous. You'd have to be a millionaire in your day to have something like that. A gentleman's travelling case, complete, I have to say, with all its fittings. The question is, how usable, how desirable? Well, our independent valuers say £500 to £700. There is a lower estimation of £450 to £600. I think £300 is too low. So I'm going to say 5 to 7, realistic.
I'm going to put a little bit more money on the table, but I'm not going to put that much more money on the table.
Okay.
I'm going to go, we've got 300 there, 320, 340, 360, £380, and that's my lot.
Put another 20 on it.
No,
you can have
that
it.
is my final offer.
I have to say no then.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Well, very best of luck at auction. Hope it does very well for you.
Thank you.
Tell us, what did you pay for it?
200.
Could have been a good profit, but there we go. Good luck at auction.
Thank you.
Another £20 would have sealed the deal.
45, it's on the net now, selling to the net.
Case is in the sale.
Gentlemen seated, any further bids?
What's
No,
Tony's
just on the
plans,
net.
David?
What you've said to the auctioneer is I would be happy after the deduction of commission to take home £400, but no less. And I understand where you're coming from, because something like that is a quality item. Just because you bought it cheap at a market for £200 doesn't mean you have to just get rid of it. I think it's a great thing. Let's see what happens.
It's a good example, this one, ladies and gentlemen. Very complete. I can start this on commission at £300.
Starts at 300. It's less than you will accept.
Further bids now.
Are there bidders in the room?
Find out.
340 at £340. Any further bids now? At £340, we're not in the market at that, cannot sell at that. Further bids necessary. Any further bids now? No?
The gamble has gone down. It got up to 340, but that was not good enough. What's your feelings about it?
I'm happy enough to keep it. I'd have liked it to have sold, but
Yes.
I'm happy enough to keep it.
Okay. There's always another day, but the real deal was at the dealer's day with David Tupman. £380. Dave, you were on the money, mate.
As we head back into the dealer's den, let's
Hi,
hope
Roy,
Roy
I'm
won't
Corrie.
lose
Hi,
his
Corrie.
trousers if
And I'm
Corey
your dealer
snaps up
today.
his World War I belt.
And you've brought along this very interesting piece of, well, embroidery, really.
Yeah.
So how did you come by it?
I bought it about 12, 18 months ago on a flea market because it's to do with the military police and that. And my stepfather, he likes all that sort of army stuff. And when I took it home, he told me what it was. He's more into it than what I was. I just bought it because I thought it was something interesting.
Well, it is really interesting.
Yeah.
So can I straighten it out and let's have a look at it?
Yeah.
Now, it's a big, wide leather belt.
Yeah.
And it's embroidered in wool with a velvet panel in the middle. And I'm going to turn this around so that we can see the panel in the middle. So you get the buckles towards you.
Okay.
And so I would guess that this belonged to a man who was in the military police.
Yeah, I would presume so.
First World War.
Yeah.
And here we've got the flags of the Allies.
Yeah. I think these are all to do with his medals that he won.
So these are the colours from the
Yeah.
medals
From
for the
his ribbons.
campaigns. Yeah. So it's really interesting. And he's tiny. I mean,
Yeah.
he's no bigger than me.
Very small waist.
He's tiny little waist. Just looking at the size of this poor child. And it was sad. They went to war so young
So
and
young.
small and didn't come back, a lot of them.
That's right, yeah.
So we hope the owner of this belt did come home.
Yeah, I hope so.
I do too. I think it's extraordinary. I think it's very poignant. I think it's in lovely condition. Let's put some money on the table and let's see how you feel about... I'm going to put 20, 40, 60.
It's a good start.
It's just a start, is it?
Just a good start.
We're not nearing the end of
Maybe
60.
in the middle.
Oh, only in the middle?
No, go on, you might be nearly there.
70.
Yeah.
How do you feel about 70 pounds?
Yeah, that sounds all right.
Does that sound a fair
Yeah,
deal
that's
to
fine,
you?
yeah.
Now, you got the money.
Mhm.
It's in your pocket, or will be. How much did you pay for it?
£5.
Nice. Very nice. Take that 70, get back out in the flea market.
I will.
Buy some more and bring it back here for me. Buy off you the next
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
Best of luck, boy.
Thank you.
Coming up, Ian gets his hands on something flashy.
It looks the part.
But will flash equal cash? Well,
What do I pay you for?
find out in a moment.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Bury in Lancashire.
Hi, I'm
Haven't
Ian.
seen a lot of Ian today.
And you are? Sean.
But like the magpie he is, he's found the sparkliest object of the day for our final deal.
Enameled secret box. And looks in pretty good condition, but if I look too closely, some of the enamel is damaged. And where did you acquire it?
I like boxes, and I go around a lot of car boots and flea markets and sales and that type of thing. And it was one of the items that caught my eye.
But in a car boot sale?
Yes, it was, yeah.
Wonderful. And how many do you have in your collection of boxes?
Oh, they're all different. We have a little bit of Treen, or there were quite a few. But I've got a couple of gold boxes, but that one.
Where is the gold box?
I don't think it'd be of interest to you, Ian.
Okay, so you have a few in your collection, and what made you choose to sell it?
Because it's the one that I thought
like.
that you'd be the most interested in. Because, you know, it looks the part.
Okay. I mean, the inside is not too bad, really. You know, the elastic has seen
They're
better
optional.
days. Did you do that?
They're optional, yes.
Okay, you did that.
Yes.
I didn't think it was original. But you did a good job. We forgive you for it. Generally, it's in pretty good condition. I'm going to assume that it is silver. You know, the marks that we have seen on it, I've looked at. They don't really say anything. They don't say anything to me at all, because they're very difficult to read. And so I will just assume that it is silver. Well, what do I pay you for? 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300.
Let me ask you first of all, are you a bit surprised with £300 on the table, or is that within the expectation where you valued it at?
It's within the expectations of the first offer, yes.
Okay. Well, let me tell you what the independent valuers and the auctioneer say. The lowest estimate is £300 to £500. The best estimate is £400 to £600. And what's, of course, got the juices going is the decoration on that looks very much like Russian decoration, in particular Fabergé. Now, there certainly is not a Fabergé mark on there, a workmaster's mark. Probably Czechoslovakian, the old Czech Republic. You immediately saw Ian moving those £50. Did you see the speed of the hand? they came out certainly more quickly than they normally do. So that probably gives you an indication, something desirable on the table. I'll leave it with you.
So we have 300 on the table, and I'm prepared to go to 350. So 350 is what I'm looking at paying for.
I need a little bit more than that, to be honest.
You need a little bit more. I'd go another £50, making it 400, which I can put on the table to make it absolutely positive that's what I would pay. But I wouldn't go further than 400 because I need to restore it and sell it and make a profit.
I understand that.
Okay, I think it's a fair offer.
Could you not go another 50?
No. I think if you want to take the gamble, by all means, take the gamble and see what happens.
I think that's what we'll do, Ian.
Okay, so it's off to auction. Fantastic. Have a great time, and I hope it makes you a lot of money in auction. And may I ask you a very rude question? What did you pay for it?
I paid £15 for it.
£15 for it.
1
So you
five.
were making a fantastic profit anyway.
But it's a beautiful box. I know I'm not going to come across it a second time.
A moment ago, Sean turned down Ian's £400 offer for the cigarette case. Well, it's now in the sale room. Let's hope your dreams of even more profit don't go up in a puff of smoke, Sean.
Now, on the dealer's day, there were various opinions on this. I think Ian said he thought it was Turkish. I can see why he thought it was Turkish because of the decoration. I have a feeling this is probably Russian, that decoration, but you know, that kind of decoration, that Fabergé style of decoration, would have spread out through Eastern Europe. And so it is possible that it might be Czech. My guess is it probably is Russian. It's coming up now. It cost you 15 quid, whatever. It was a cracking buy. There's a £400 reserve on it. You turn down 400. Let's see what happens.
This is this interesting enamelled cigarette case. I can start this at £260 on commission. 260, 280, 300, 320, 320, we're in the room. 340 on the net, 360, 380, 400, 420, 440, 460, 480, 500, 520, 540, 560, 580, 580 on the net then, 600, 600. Now, fresh bidder in the room here.
No, they're coming out from behind pillars. I'll have a bid at that. I'll have a bid at that.
660, 680, 680, we're in the room. Net's gone away, 680. The room has it then.
£680 under the gavel. Come on, what's your first reaction?
Very, very happy with that.
Now, you look very cool to me, like a professional. Very happy. You're not kind of jumping about. Take away the commission, that's with 580 quid. Were you tempted with the original offer from Ian at 400 quid?
I wasn't, no, David. When I first saw the box, it was a lapis lazuli colour that attracted me to it. I thought to myself it was probably worth around about £1,000, but no one wants to pay what it's worth. I thought I'd today walk away with 620, so I went kind of wrong.
Well, good judge. On the day, they bid £680. Take away the commission, just under £580. Sean's happy, got a good eye for the job. The Duke says, relieved that the bidders were here, that was the real deal.
Indeed it was, David. I think Sean is a bit of a star pupil. Did our dealers make the grade today, I wonder? Well, it won't be Ian. He'll let everything go to auction. Must try harder.
Sorry.
Cheryl bunked off to go on her holidays and hasn't sold either the decanters or the candlestick. Detention for you, my girl. Corrie is still trying to call up a buyer for the old mobile phone, but she let the World War I belt go for 75. Must pay more attention. And what about head boy David Tuckman? He sold the jovial monk for a loss of £18. I think you lot will be resitting your real deal exams.
Only in the middle?
No. We've had a really great day here in the sale room. There's been lots of action, just the way we like it. Lots of bidding and lots of buying. Don't forget to join me, David Dickinson, next time for Dickinson's Real Deal. Bye for now.